So when the 12-inch MacBook dropped last year, on paper it didn't seem to make much sense. It was under-spec'd, underpowered, but it quickly became a favorite of mine and something I used on the daily. Fast forward to 2016, the new models are here, but before you pick one up, here are 5 things you should know. So what's up guys, Jonathan here, and first up, the new MacBook now comes in everyone's favorite color to argue about, rose gold. Initially we saw rose gold debut with the iPhone 6s and the Apple Watch, but it's since made its way over to the iPad Pro, iPhone SE, and now the 12-inch MacBook as the 4th color option, in addition to silver, gold, and my favorite, space gray. Personally, the only thing this does is gets me excited for the possibility of different color options coming to the iMac or the MacBook Pro, because the things I would do for a space gray iMac. But at the very least, if rose gold is your thing, you and the new MacBook just became best friends. Second up on the list of things to know is, aside from the new color option, the design is exactly the same. The new MacBook isn't any thinner, it's not any lighter, and what Ralph wiggled my heart just a little bit is there aren't any additional ports, just a single USB-C on the left and a headphone jack on the right. So for me, as much as I love the initial MacBook, if I could change anything, simply adding a second USB-C port would be amazing, especially with USB-C becoming more widely adopted. Samsung's new T3 SSDs are what I use to edit my videos, and those actually connect via USB-C, so it would be awesome to have that plugged in the first port and power going to the second. It's definitely not a deal breaker and didn't stop me from using the initial MacBook almost every day, but it would have been a killer change. Now the third thing that you need to know is that the new MacBook is unassumingly powerful. Earlier this year when I mentioned the MacBook could handle 4K editing, no one believed me. Sure and behold though, not only did it handle it, it passed that test with flying colors and exported a 4-minute 4K video in just about 6 minutes, which is bonkers. So while the 2016 MacBook looks the same on the outside, there's actually some changes on the inside, starting with Intel's 6th generation Skylake processors. You now have the option of a 1.1 GHz M3 processor, a 1.2 GHz M5 processor, or you can bump it all the way up to a 1.3 GHz M7 processor. Now that might not seem like a huge jump, but where the difference happens is the turbo boost. The M3 will jump up to 2.2, the M5 will go up to 2.7 GHz, and then finally the M7 will turbo boost all the way up to 3.1 GHz. Now numbers and fancy tech terms aside, I personally would not waste the money and jump up to the M7. It makes sense if you're going up to the mid-tier model because you're getting more storage, but at the end of the day, if you want more power, the money you're spending towards that top tier, that should go towards a 13-inch MacBook Pro. As far as performance goes though, in Geekbench 3, the new 2016 MacBook dished out a single core score of 2530 and a multi-core score of 5023. For comparison, with the 2015 baseline model on the single core side of things, that was 2329, and then on the multi-core, that was 4490. So not a huge deal on single core performance, but a pretty solid jump multi-core wise. On top of that, you're getting better graphics performance and also really noticeable differences on the flash storage speed. With the 2015 baseline MacBook, those speeds were around 468 megabytes per second on the write side and 770 on the read side, but with the 2016 baseline MacBook, that jumped up to over 610 megabytes per second write and over 920 megabytes per second read. Now the jump in performance is nice, but the fourth thing that you need to know is that the 2016 MacBook still has a potato camera. One thing that shocked me last year when they announced the 12-inch MacBook was when I found out it had a 480p webcam. I naturally assumed that would be upgraded in 2016, but for some reason, it is still 480p. Austin, wake up, look at this quality. Look at this quality. To be fair, I can probably count the number of times I've used that camera on one hand, but regardless, it is 2016 and the fact that it's not at least 720p is crazy. Lastly, the fifth thing that you need to know is that even though there's a jump in performance, we're gonna see better battery life on these MacBooks. What's interesting is they've managed to squeeze a higher capacity battery and presumably what is the same real estate. So with the 2015 MacBook, that housed a 39.7 watt battery, whereas the 2016 MacBook jumps up to 41.4. So that in combination with more efficient processors should lead to an extra hour of battery life across the board. And in that light, there is a positive with Apple not making this any thinner and sacrificing battery life, because for me, more performance and longer battery is a win. Now, if you want to see something crazy, potentially what's inside this new MacBook, I got a chance to hang out with the legends Dan and Lincoln over on the What's Inside channel. We tore this baby apart. It was tragically beautiful. So if you want to see that and also have a chance to win a brand new 12-inch rose gold MacBook, those details are down below.
Push it in there.
Yeah, let's
show the back of it.
Oh,
look at the back
man!
of it. Come look at that.
What?
Whoa!
Come look, Lincoln. Let's get you in this.